you go so that you can, wait for the results that are expected this morning. Now, the first ever grade 3 assessment under the current education curriculum is set to start today across the country, and more than 1.3 million pupils will undergo this assessment. Let us now speak to our reporter in Nyeri, that is Clement Masombo, for an update on what exactly is happening. Clement Masombo, good morning. Has the assessment test started? Because I really don't want to say it's an exam, because the Minister of Education said this is not an exam, but rather it's an assessment exercise.
Good morning, Brenda. Indeed, it's not an exam, but like you rightly put it, it's just an assessment to try to evaluate and monitor the understanding or how progressive the learners are doing. And close to 1.3 million learners are undergoing this test as we speak right now. And I'm at Kingongo Primary School, where we shall be speaking to the Miss Wanyweke, who is the head teacher of this school, just to give us an insight of what's exactly happening. But Mwalimu, thank you so much for joining us. Kindly tell us how many learners are currently sitting for this test as we speak from your school?
81 pupils. Yeah.
And how can you rate the progress so far since the test started in the morning?
It has been going on well. Yeah.
What are the learners currently being tested on, and how different is it from the previous exams that they have been doing?
We are assessing mathematics activities, and now it is different from the exams we used to do, because we are testing what the learners have learned, and also we are monitoring the progress of the CBC, and it is going on very well. And even the students are not frightened of the exam, because they have just a normal situation as they usually have. Yeah.
What will they be tested on when it comes to the afternoon? And give us the whole program of the week, how it is going to be.
I think the whole program, they are going to start with mathematics activities. Then after that, we shall go to English activities. Yeah. Where in English activities we have reading aloud and even the passage. They will read the passage and then answer the questions. Yeah.
And there was also a mention of English, mathematics, and Kiswahili. Then there is this integrated learning areas. Can you kindly give us a highlight of what integrated learning areas compose of?
Integrated learning areas, it is composed of creative activity, Kiswahili activity. We have the nutrition and hygiene, and we did them in the project of the children, which was called the ILA. Yeah.
And Mwalimu, could there be maybe any challenges that you have faced as a school or as a teacher in conducting this during the whole rollout of CBC?
No, the only problem we had is of the textbook, but we have been provided with them. We have the designs, and so the CBC is learning very well, where the children are enjoying it most because it is a doing activity in each and every area. And also we find the parents are very much informed, and also we find that they are also happy about the CBC program. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mwalimu, for speaking to us. Brenda, that has been Mrs. Wanyweke, who is the head teacher of this school. Remember, initially, the initial reports had indicated that this assessment will be running through from Monday up to Friday, but the CS for Education, that is George Magoha, came to clarify that it's an assessment that will run throughout the whole term. But I was speaking to the teacher, and she was telling me that after the assessment, the learning will continue as usual because they have a syllabus to cover. Back to you, Brenda.
All right, Clement, before I let you go, I don't know whether you still have the school teacher right beside you, so I just need a clarification. Once they do this assessment test, are there any other examination that this grade 3 pupils are going to do, or this will be the last assessment exercise, then they proceed to grade 4?
Okay, let me ask the teacher so that I get a clear clarification of what it is. Mwalimu, after the assessment that the learners are undergoing, is there any other exam that they are going to sit for, maybe like the end term exam like they've been doing before?
Yeah, it is assessment, not an exam. Yeah, they will sit for it at the end term.
But also to set the record clear, it's the CS said that this is not a predeterminant of what will promote them to the next class.
Yeah. And there will be no repetition. All of them will go to grade 4 because all of them are meeting our expectations. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Yes, Brenda, we just heard that this is just an assessment to evaluate how is the progress of learners under the CBC, but there will be an end-term exam like that. It has always been there, Brenda.
Thank you so much, Clement Masumbu, my colleague right there from Nyeri County, just giving us an update of that exam that is expected to kick off this morning. But still on matters education, about 1.3 million grade 3 pupils across the country continued with the assessment of the competency-based curriculum, even as the government moved to clarify that the exercise is not an examination, but simply a learner monitoring process. Speaking at Moi Avenue Primary School in Nairobi, Education Principal Secretary, that is Bello Kipsang, said contrary to media reports, the exercise is not tied down to 1 week, but it is a continuous process which will run and managed by class teachers.
Following widespread reports, some of which appeared to breed confusion over the form and structure of the ongoing assessment for the 1.3 million grade 3 pupils countrywide, on Monday, Education Principal Secretary Dr. Bello Kipsang visited Moi Avenue Primary School in Nairobi, where he sought to put things right.
You know, we've been made and given a mind frame that anything that we are putting our children through to appreciate what they have learned in the last 1 year, in the last 6 months, is an examination. We are just monitoring to appreciate, to see have they acquired the skills that they were expected to have acquired. And it is not anything that we shall use to make children progress to the next level. Our children proceeds to the next level 100%.
He was supported by teachers from various schools who have termed the ongoing activities as ordinary learning process.
It has been going on and it will still continue, provided we pick the timeline of end of term.
This week's assessment follows another similar process that largely focused on integrated learning, where pupils were involved in modifying and innovating tools to clean marketplaces and other environmental activities.
CPC is learner-centered. So the learner is coming back to you to say, out of our interaction, this is what I'm able to do.
Pupils will be assessed in mathematics activities, listening and speaking, reading aloud, English comprehension, language structure and function, and guided writing, with schools expected to submit the outcomes to the Kenya National Examination Council by Friday.
This is what we expected. This is what we want as a country. You know, we've been made and given a mind frame that anything that we are putting our children through to appreciate what they have learned in the last 1 year, in the last 6 months, is an examination. We are just monitoring to appreciate, to see have they acquired the skills that they were expected to have acquired. And it is not anything that we shall use to make children progress to the next level. Our children proceeds to the next level 100%. The transition for every other class from grade 1 all the way to grade 12 when we arrive there will be 100%.
Teachers will be using standardized assessment tools developed by the Kenya National Examination Council to administer and score the work. The performance of the task will then be measured against the expected outcomes of the learning process. Once again, the government insists this is not an examination, but simply a learner monitoring process that seeks to inform specific policy actions on the implementation of the competency-based curriculum.